What's up, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Blakney, aka Brandon Lee TV. Welcome to another episode of the Dukes of Gridiron Podcast, your source for all the biggest headlines with a little flavor in college football.
You are now locked into the Live with Brandon Blakney podcast. Here is your host, Brandon Blakney.
Now, it was a historic day in college football today. Unfortunately for one university, one Power 5 conference champion, undefeated conference champion, Florida State, had their dreams of the pursuit of a national championship crushed by the NCAA College Football Playoff Committee. They set a precedent that profits are above on-field production. This is a dangerous precedent. Now, I understand from a ratings standpoint and from a competition standpoint, Alabama and Texas being in the playoff is more exciting than having a hobbled, crippled Florida State team. I get that. They didn't blow out Louisville. You know, they could have had a more impressive win, sure. But they didn't have a loss. And the fact that Alabama got their doors blown off at home by Texas and needed a miracle from Jalen Milroe to beat a 6-6 Auburn squad in the Iron Bowl. I think we got to look at the whole picture here. Florida State straight up was robbed. It's a travesty. And everybody's making their opinion feel known about it. Y'all, I'm just going to say this. I understand that Alabama is one of the hottest, if not the hottest team in college football right now, other than Washington. Like, I get that aspect of it. But, yo, straight up, what kind of dirt does Nick Saban have on the college football committee? Because this is nuts. Seriously. In the history of the short history of the college football playoff, back when it had integrity before this last election, in the history, there has never been an undefeated Power 5 conference champion not have the opportunity to compete for a national championship. Clemson never went through this. You know what I'm saying? This is a travesty. What is this saying about players on the field? And Florida State has, I wanted to kind of wait a little bit to make this video to kind of see what the reactions from around the team were. And, man, it was just a heartbreaking tweet from Jordan Travis, man. The senior who went down with the injury, the Heisman candidate. The injury that feels like cost FSU a chance at the college football playoff. He said this. Devastated, heartbroken, in so much disbelief right now. I wish my leg broke earlier in the season so y'all could see this team is much more than the quarterback. I thought results matter. 13-0 and this roster matches up across any team in those top 4 rankings. I am so sorry. Go Noles. End quote. Talk about sacrifice and selflessness. To just for him to come out and say something like that. Having his season ended, having his campaign, his Heisman campaign cut short. Having his college career cut short. And still having the presence, the knowledge, the wherewithal to put his team first and the national championship aspirations. I feel for Florida State. Now, am I saying they were probably going to get their doors blown off? Let's just keep it hot. I'm going to keep it real with y'all. That's what we do here, okay? Now, they probably would have got their doors blown off, but they still deserve the opportunity to compete, and I think they're being punished from how TCU got done last year in the championship. I think, that probably came across, man, because Florida State has an elite defense that can compete with any defense in the nation. But going in with a third-string true freshman quarterback, played a part. Gotta be honest. But even the head coach, had to come out and speak out.
This is a real team. It's one that finds a way to win games, whatever it needs to look like. And there's plenty of teams that have talent. There's plenty of teams that you can sit there and point to a moment here or a moment there. But it's about getting the win. It's about making sure that you show up and you do the things necessary to achieve in each situation. And we've done that on the road. We've done it at home. We've done it with a backup quarterback, and now we've done it with a true freshman quarterback. And this team just continues to find ways, right, to make it happen. And you sit back and you look, since the BCS was created, I mean, in the history of it, there's never been a undefeated, right, Power 5 team that was been denied an opportunity to play for a national championship over a one-loss team. Right? There's a reason, because you have to earn it on the field. I don't care how much talent you have. I don't care, what it looks like, right, on a game or in a moment. You got to get it done. And if you have all that ability, well, go finish. That's what this team's done. And this team has showed up and week in and week out, and they work for it. And we've had some one play games. We've had some challenging moments. They had to respond, and that's what makes a champion. And these guys are champions. And you know what? If we get our opportunity, which I fully expect to get, right? This is going to be a team that's going to continue to do all things necessary to put themselves in a position to go take the next step. And I believe in this football team. And there's plenty of people that can count us out. Oh, Jordan Travis went down. Let me tell you, that is a special player. He means everything to our program. Right? Well, when he went down, we still went on the road, right? And big rival, right? Found adversity and responded to it, and found a way to get a win. Tonight, same thing. I mean, adversity shows up, challenges set in. This team's built for it, and I believe in them. And I don't care where, who, when, because I've had 13 straight games this season, and the final 6 last season. And we beat a lot of teams from all these different conferences that presumed or at this other deal. We just show up and play, and we find a way to win, and that's what this team has done.
This is from Coach Mike Norvell. Quote, disgusted and infuriated by the CFP decision. What is the point of playing games? Do you tell players it is okay to quit if someone goes down? Do you not play a senior on senior day for fear of injury? Where is the motivation to schedule challenging non-conference games? We are not only an undefeated P5 conference champion, but we also have 2 P5 non-conference games away from home and won both of them. So they beat LSU week 1 in impressive fashion. It was week 1, so it's not as fresh on everybody's minds at the time, but it looks a lot better the way LSU finished the season. That win looks a lot better. And then they can't help that Florida's having a down year. So they beat Florida in the swamp with a backup quarterback. A pesky Florida squad. It's a rivalry game. Records are kind of out of the window there anyways. But you look at that, and I get the strength of schedule. Like them beating Duke, Miami, isn't really moving people the way it is in the SEC when Bama's beating Ole Miss. And, Mizzou, top-ranked programs, Georgia, when they're beating teams like that, beating Georgia in the SEC championship, it's going to move a lot more. It's going to move a lot more dials. It's going to move a lot more dials than beating Louisville. And then the fact that Jordan Travis, their all-do-everything quarterback, is not there either. It's not going to sell as well as a one-loss Bama team. And then it's Nick Saban, the puppet master. But this is unprecedented. We will never see this happen again after the playoff expansion with 12 teams. So I'm grateful for that. But obviously, Florida State took it hard.
Devastated, and I'm sure there is a lot of anger in Tallahassee as a result of this. Just a terribly unfortunate set of circumstances. They left Mike Norvell, who has done a fabulous job at Florida State, put the Seminoles in position, and now will be a challenge of leadership.
Bro, just seeing that reaction, those kids got robbed. That's tough to watch. That's tough to watch. Man. And I mean, everybody pretty much reacted the same online. I came across a bunch of different tweets where people were kind of just sharing the same reaction. This from Booker McFarland. Quote, "This is a complete travesty to the sport because we go out there on the field and we play the game. Regardless of whether we win with offense or defense, the name of the game is to win. That's the reason why this has never been done before. 13-0 P5 champ out. I understand the style points and best matchups, but one team has a loss, Alabama, and one doesn't, Florida State. Those kids have went out there every week and busted their behinds for this moment. Mind you, this is the same Alabama team that needed a prayer to beat an Auburn team that lost to New Mexico State. That's what really has me bothered right now," end quote. R.J. Young, another analyst, makes this point. He mentions Alabama nearly losing to Auburn, as we've all seen, everybody else kind of bring that up. He says Georgia was tied with Auburn until there was 3 minutes left in the game. They had some trouble with Auburn. Bama and UGA combined to beat Auburn by a total of 10 points. And then we mentioned, everybody's bringing up that Auburn got their doors blown off by New Mexico State 31-10. No SEC team belongs in the college football playoff. Another tweet, Florida State got absolutely hosed. They have at least 2 first-round picks. Talent all over the field, goes undefeated, and still on the outside looking in. 2-0 versus SEC teams this season. 2014 Buckeyes got in with a third-string quarterback. FSU should have been in. Stuart Mandel says FSU is the first ever undefeated P5 team left out. And with 12-team college football playoff coming next year, it will never happen again. Thank goodness, y'all. Ironically, the ACC was one of the 3 conferences that initially stonewalled playoff expansion, which was expected to begin this year. Ouch. Mike Greenberg says Florida State scheduled an SEC powerhouse. They won a Power 5 conference. They won all their games, overcoming adversity along the way. This isn't figure skating. Judges should never have been a part of it. Whew, a lot of strong feelings from a lot of people there. Noles fans all across the nation in devastation.
Babe, your food's on the table.
I'm coming!
I don't know who you yelling at. It ain't my fault you ain't get on the air app. Shoot. Thought nobody want to come to your dirty ass school anyway. Better come get this.
And I'm going to be honest, some of the most hurt fans have got to be Michigan because they were definitely looking forward to playing a hurt, beat-up Florida State offense than facing a red-hot Alabama squad. I'm just saying.
Florida State or Alabama. One spot, the other school plays Michigan. Number 5, heartbroken. Who's number 4?
Bro, you could tell from that reaction, like, they absolutely wanted that smoke with Florida State. But, man, I get what everybody's saying on both sides. Like, I've seen people on both sides saying the committee made the right decision. People feeling like, hey, Alabama, Texas, they were 2 of the 4 best teams in the nation, along with Washington and Michigan. It's a better matchup. It's a more quality football game. We can't deny that. And I'm not saying that. I can't speak for everybody else. But the fact that we've never seen an undefeated P5 conference champion held out before, and this is the first year they did it. Like, Ohio State played with a third-string quarterback and won, beat Alabama. So I'm just like, Alabama. And I'm just like, 2018. And I'm just like, seeing, like, them have that opportunity. We would have never seen Zeke Elliott break out if this was what the college football playoff would have been on, this type of energy back then that they are right now. You still got to give that defense a chance. I mean, it's like just because teams aren't elite offensively, like defense wins championships, but we obviously in this new era don't abide by that logic. I mean, and it sucks for those kids seeing what they're going through with this situation. It's tough. It's tough, but I do think that the best matchups are present. You know, the ones that are going to sell tickets. You got Texas in there, who I could never jump above. I could never put Alabama above Texas in that situation. Getting beat by double digits at home cannot be overlooked. I don't care when it happened. That's just where we're at right now. For Georgia, being knocked all the way down to 6th, that's tough. That's tough. 2-time defending champ, not able to defend that championship. You know, that's just a tough situation. And the SEC, we all know, we've seen the favoritism before. We see it year after year, how their league and the wins way more, and how a SEC, we're seeing it now where a SEC loss is weighing more than one of Florida State's wins. They just treated Florida State like an undefeated Tulane squad. I'm just, man, the NCAA really did that. Chose profits over on-field production. This is a business that we're seeing right now. College football, we already knew what it was, but this pretty much claims it right here. This is a business.
Alabama at 4. Florida State is a different team than they were through the first 11 weeks. Coach Norvell, their players, their fans, an incredible season. But as you look at who they are as a team right now, without Jordan Travis, without the offensive dynamic that he brings to it, they are a different team. And the committee voted Alabama 4 and Florida State 5.
Playoff, because never has a team been left out of the college football playoff as a Power 5 undefeated champ. And then we see what happens today. What's your reaction?
Well, the reaction one is Jordan has nothing to be sorry about. Right. Yeah. First and foremost, Jordan Travis, you have nothing to be sorry about. This entire team, you have nothing to hang your head about. This is wrong, plain and simple. I think this goes against every single thing that you're taught as a Little League player, that it's about the team. It's not about one player. It's not about the quarterback. It's not just about the middle linebacker. It's not about the coach at times. And it seems like that's kind of been the situation in this entire debacle, the way I see it, because if you, as the committee chair, Boo Corrigan, who I respect a ton, says that Florida State is not the same team without their starting quarterback, Jordan Travis, that's obvious. We all know that. I agree with that too. Right. But ultimately, this team still found a way to be undefeated. Yeah. So what's the problem? If you can go 13-0, you deserve a chance to then battle an opportunity to go to war one more time with your brothers in a semifinal in the college ball playoff, bar none. And again, going back to you saying Jordan Travis is not available, it really doesn't matter. If the defense can go out there and find ways to win, if you can beat Florida, your rival, with your backup quarterback, boom, check mark. You still win the game. Play great defense. You go into the ACC championship game with your third-string quarterback, first start of his career, Brock Glenn.
You didn't know until right now.
And you didn't know. It was a game-time decision, and you still win the game. You play convincing defense.
And what does this mean for the ACC? Is this the death of the ACC right here? Is Florida State on a plane somewhere flying, talking to some hedge fund, school fund, you know what I'm saying, alumni fund right now, to just make moves elsewhere? If we're at a point where you can't be a conference champion, an undefeated conference champion in the ACC.
Everything you just said, 100% very well said. I appreciate you taking that stand for your Noles and for this conference. But it was taken away from them. It wasn't given away. It wasn't on the battlefield where they lost it and we're sitting here arguing about a one-loss team. It was a group of people that had nothing to do with the situation, that who knows how many have played at what level, that said, those guys, not good enough. Your defense, not good enough. Those guys cannot play at this level against these teams. That's what we think. I would love to see their pick'ems across the entire year. They 100%? Absolutely not. And so you have this undefeated team. How many undefeated teams have they been ever? And now you're telling me that one is not good enough based on what? Based strictly on, well, we think this matchup will be better. Oh, this conference is a little bit better, so we're going to give it to them. That's despicable. And quite frankly, it's snatching away opportunity from kids. Yep. And it's just, it's sickening to me, man.
That's the worst part.
It's
Right.
Again, people that have zero to do with the impact of the game have all the impact of the game and take it away from people.
It's devastating because you expect them to do the right thing. And instead of doing the right thing, they did what they wanted to. Right?
That's not good enough to make the college playoff over a one-loss SEC team. That's the precedent we're setting right now. I mean, it's tough. I'm excited about these matchups, but I just feel for Florida State. Going undefeated, you can only play who's in front of you. Looking at their schedule, you can only play who's in front of you. You know, there wasn't a whole lot of ranked teams. I mean, you can't blame Florida State for the ACC having a down year, but they handled business and beat who they were supposed to beat. They handled business against Miami, beat a good Duke squad. That's not moving the needle like some games, I get it. But they went into the swamp, beat Florida. Defense dominated Louisville. They did what they were supposed to do. They went 2-0 against the SEC. They did what they were supposed to do. And it wasn't enough. And they're justifying it with an injury. One player's injury kept a whole program out. That's how they're justifying it. Man, I feel for Florida State, y'all. I really do. I feel for those guys. You know, they got a bowl game. They got a bowl game coming up. They're a resilient group. I'm sure they're going to bounce back and put on another spectacular performance. There's NFL talent on this team. There's first-round talent on that defensive line. And, you know, I know they're going to go out there and compete in their next matchup. But that's a tough situation, guys. That's tough, man. Like, undefeated, and still, you're not good enough. You're not getting to the playoff. Like, what does Nick Saban have on the college football playoff committee? Because he's got some serious dirt. I mean, that's crazy. And this is a year, I mean, I'm not saying Alabama doesn't deserve to be in, because that's not what I'm saying. I mean, heck, I want to see Ohio State. I want to see Alabama. You know, I'm ready for that 12-team playoff. The FCS has been doing it right all along. But I'm ready for the 12. I'll take the 12 team, though. You know. We'll take that. But, I mean, there's other teams. You know, Georgia, Ohio State should have a chance to compete for a national championship. This is one of those years where it's like that. You know. But, hey, it's tough. It's a tough situation. But that's a wrap for us, man. Y'all holler at your boy and let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. What's going on? Did the college football committee make the right decision? Y'all let me know. And make sure to hit that subscribe button for all the latest and the greatest. That's a wrap for us. Until next time, we out.